No one lights a lamp and then covers it with a wash tub or shoves it under the bed.
No, you set it up on a lampstand so those who enter the room can see their way.
We are not keeping secrets. We're telling them.
We're not hiding things. We're bringing everything out into the open.
So be careful that you don't become misers of what you hear.
Generosity begets generosity.
Stinginess impoverishes.
Wow.
That is a passage that we wanted to read from you today. It's from the Message version of Luke chapter 8, verses 16 to 18.
And today we want to talk all about hiding and sneaking food, which is another whole way of saying eating your emotions.
Yeah, that's one of the big emotional eating signs, or one of the symptoms of emotional eating is hiding and sneaking food. And to go with hiding and sneaking food, really what we want to talk about today is how we need to bring it all into the light. We're not keeping secrets, just like that passage said. We are bringing it all into the light, because what we hold in the dark, what we try and keep in secret, like we pretend nobody knows, is killing us inside.
Yeah.
It's destroying us.
It is. So have you ever actually, do you remember a time where you were sneaking food? Maybe what you did is, after everyone was in bed, that's when you went to the junk food cupboard and grabbed some out and like munched away quickly so no one, just in case if someone got up, they would see you eating food.
Yeah.
You want to quickly hurry and eat it and stuff it in your mouth.
There's so many ways that we can hide or sneak food. Half the time we don't even really realize we're doing it anymore because we're so used to doing it. Like maybe you like to run through the drive-thru when you're by yourself in your car so nobody else knows.
Maybe when you're going through the checkout line, you grab that candy bar and as soon as you're out the door, you scarf it down.
Yeah, before you get home so nobody would ever see the evidence.
You throw the evidence away.
Yeah, or maybe it's like you said, hiding or sneaking food at your home in the evenings. Maybe you have your own secret stash of candy somewhere that nobody knows about because it's all for you.
Or maybe you do it after your children are out of the house because you don't want them to see you eating.
Yeah. In fact, if we're honest, I remember a time yesterday when I was going, I'm going to try and eat some chips while my kids are in the other room, right? And sometimes we have different reasons, like my kids had enough junk food for the day, right? So sometimes there are these things that we rationalize in our heads that maybe aren't bad reasons, but we have to ask ourselves, why are we doing this?
And why don't we want others to see us eating it?
Exactly. Ultimately, at the heart of it, we kind of came up with a few different reasons why you are potentially sneaking or hiding food. And I think the biggest one is because we're ashamed and embarrassed.
I think that is the biggest one. We don't want people to think that we're eating, like snacking extra, or just, when we're out and about, we don't want people to see us eating junk food or going through the drive-thru, eating fast food, fried foods, because when we're out with our friends, we say, well, we're on a diet.
Yeah. And I don't think it matters what size you're at. Because we have, as women, we have this weird idea that, we're always supposed to be on a diet. Otherwise, we aren't worthy. Otherwise, we don't even know who we are if we can't say that we're on this crazy fad diet train. Because we've got our worth all wrapped around, being on a diet and having this whole identity of, depriving ourselves because we have to look a certain way. Like, it's just so messed up.
It is. It's awful. And I know that Casey and I do not believe in diets.
No.
And so if you haven't followed along or you're new here, I'm Ruth.
And I'm Casey, yeah.
We're a mother-daughter team and we have fired our diets. And one of the reasons is because we know that diets start with deprivation, and they start with like a disgust about going into a fad diet. We don't like ourselves, and so we always have to be on the perpetual Monday morning diet.
Yeah. Otherwise, we just don't feel like we're worthy of anything, right? If you can't tell your friends or your husband or whoever that you're starting another diet, you feel ashamed of how you look because you feel like you need to be on this diet in order to, prove to whoever that you're doing something about it and you're going to lose this weight. And then it's that same diet cycle, hamster wheel that we get on where, we start the diet and we hate everything about it, and then we maybe lose a few pounds, and then we fall off the diet, and then we feel ashamed, we feel embarrassed, we feel guilt, and then we spiral out of control and gain all the weight back plus some more. Then we just start it all over again. And so in the midst of all of that, what we end up doing is find ourselves hiding food or sneaking food because we don't want other people to see what we're actually doing. And I think another big reason why we do that is because we're like fighting against ourselves, right? We're trying to be on these restrictive deprivation diets that we hate, and we can't live like that. So I think sometimes we're also trying to like fool ourselves.
Yeah. And I just want to say, when we're trying to fool ourselves, we want to be accountable. We want to be aware of what we're putting into our mouths. But when we're sneaking, we don't have to be accountable for that.
Yeah. And so we get into this whole mindset where we're trying to fool ourselves into thinking that it's not really that bad. Oh, a few little M&Ms won't hurt, or this or that. And, you know, I just want to say, Ruth and I do one-on-one coaching for weight loss. And what we find with our weight loss clients is that what we do is we get them to write down everything that they eat, and they send it to us. That's right.
And even if it's a bite of a cookie, they're supposed to write that down.
Yeah, because we have to stop fooling ourselves. We have to stop trying to pretend that we're like these amazing good dieters. Who wants to be that anyway? I don't.
Me.
But we have to stop pretending that we're these incredible dieters and we're like, oh, I'm on another diet. You know, like we're like, that's somehow where our worth comes from. And then we go sneak food. It is so mixed up.
Or think about this example, like you're out for dinner with friends, and so you're eating healthy because you're on a diet.
You have salad with some grilled chicken at the restaurant.
And you're so hungry when you leave the restaurant that you stop at a fast food place on the way because, well, everyone knows that you just ate healthy.
Yeah.
So now this is a way to sneak.
Yeah. There's so many ways that we sneak food. And you've done it. I've done it. We've all done it. In fact, I remember being a teenager and, you know, I was trying to lose weight back then, which is a whole other story and a whole other topic. But I remember like sneaking an extra handful of granola, trying to fool myself into thinking that I was doing really well. And we just get into this horrible cycle and we've got to cut it out. And if we take it back to what the Bible says, because ultimately we believe that we need to cut out the fad diets and we need to start honoring our bodies and making good choices for the sake of our health. And you know what? We're going to reap what we sow.
Absolutely. And when we talk about sneaking and cheating or cheating ourselves, you know, cheating has a really bad connotation. When I think of cheating, I think of cheating on a test in school. That's the first thing that pops into my mind. But cheating doesn't bring in a good thought.
No.
It brings in a really bad thought. And so when we're cheating on ourselves, when we're cheating and sneaking food, that really is not honoring to God, like you said.
No.
We need to just bring everything open and surrender it all. That's why we say we have to include God in the journey, because God sees our sneaking anyway. He sees everything that we put into our bodies.
Yeah, and all of those secrets that we're trying to hold so tightly, like we don't want anybody to know, they hold so much power over us. And we often talk about how we need to bring all those things into the light. And that might mean you need to find an accountability partner. That might mean you want one-on-one coaching with us. That might mean that you bring it before God. There's a lot of ways that we can bring these things into the light, but we have to, like, I'm going to say, set ourselves free. That's by right. Bringing it out into the light. We're not keeping secrets. We're telling them. That's what that passage says.
That's right. And when we do it, it does bring freedom with food.
Yeah.
You can, if you're going to eat it, well, eat it so that you have the freedom of eating it and then enjoy it. Otherwise, choose not to eat it, but don't sneak it.
Yeah, exactly. We often talk about how when we eat something that doesn't line up with our goals and then we feel guilt and we feel shame about it, well, all the enjoyment of eating it is completely gone. It might have tasted good, but what it did for the rest of your body, for your mental health, for your physical well-being of feeling so bad about yourself, that was not worth it. No. So if you're going to eat it, then bring it all out into the light and enjoy it. And you know what else that's probably going to do? It's probably going to help you eat it in more of like a moderation capacity rather than overdoing it.
That's right. So you're going to be working on the fruit of the Spirit, which is self-control.
Exactly. So it really all like plays together. And, you know, we just want to say, if you're here wondering, like, I don't know how to stop. Like, it's so ingrained in me to sneak food. We want to invite you to check out our Food Freedom Workshop, which, you know, we go through a lot of the signs of emotional eating. And it's a 5-day workshop that we've put together to really help you create a healthy relationship with food. It's not about what to eat. It's about your whole relationship with food.
Yeah, so we would really encourage you to check that out. It's really a low price. It's only $27. And it's a 5-day workshop. So every day you're going to have like a half hour of video to watch. And it's just going to help you surrender your journey to God.
Mm-hmm. Because we don't want to be in chains to food anymore. right? If you're anything like every other woman on the face of the earth, you have felt like you're in prison to food, like those obsessive thoughts are controlling your every move. I know, because I've been there.
That's right, me too.
And we don't want to live like that. You know, we want to have the freedom to let the thoughts go, right? We don't want to obsess about food all day long. We want to eat a good, healthy meal and then move on to the next part of our life for that day, right?
And you're going to have so much freedom when you stop cheating and sneaking because, you know, when you bring it into the light, you feel free. So who doesn't want that?
Exactly. And, you know, we often talk about how with these types of like signs of emotional eating, this is a daily surrender, right? It doesn't matter if you've done it once. You're going to have to do it again, right? Because the devil, the enemy knows that we are weak in this area. And so he continues to attack. And I say that because of what I just said earlier. Yesterday, I found myself sneaking food. I teach this stuff for a living, okay? I put this stuff into practice in my life each and every day. But yesterday, I found myself sneaking food. We have to be aware and on guard because the Bible also tells us that he is sneaking around like a prowling lion ready to devour us. And
he knows if he can get you down and get you stuck there, well, he's won.
Yeah.
And we do not want the enemy to win. We have to be the winners. We have to be the conquerors because we can be more than conquerors through Jesus Christ. Let's get rid of the sneaking and the cheating. Like Casey said, it's going to take work. Mm-hmm. You're going to find yourself, if this is something that you do on a regular basis, you're going to catch yourself multiple times going, stop, why am I doing that?
Yeah.
And then, you know what? I'm going to say just right there, stop and pray and give it to God and start again.
Exactly. And we've talked in lots of other videos too about emotional eating is often our way of trying to fill some sort of void in our life with, in this context, we're filling it with food rather than filling it with God. Mm-hmm. And, you know, food is never going to fill that void. And you'll know that because every day you're going back to food to try and fill it and it's never filled. So we have to find a different way to fill that void, which is through surrendering the journey to God, because we know that with him all things are possible. And, you know, he's the living water. He's the bread of life. And so we don't need to be filling that emotional void with physical food.
So all things are possible. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge you right now to start believing it. You can be a conqueror. Mm-hmm. You can stop cheating. So for some help, go and check out our Food Freedom Workshop. You'll be glad you did.
Exactly. And we just want to invite you today to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. You know what? We know that this is the type of content that you're going to need to keep watching day in and day out to be putting the good messages in if we want to fight this battle every day, right? It's a battle. And so we need to be putting the good stuff in. So please subscribe. Not only will it help you because we work hard to put out videos that are encouraging for you on this journey, but it's also going to help us with the YouTube algorithm. And so we would super appreciate your subscribe, liking this video, and we would ask you today to comment below. And if you're ready to actually dive in and do this, we want you to write down, I believe that with God, all things are possible. Put that in the comments for us today.
Just do it.
Yeah. We always like to end these videos by saying this. Until next time, treat your body like a temple,
not a trash can.